Welcome to YGV Kannadiga. Please subscribe, click the bell icon and set it to all for more updates. Okay, let's start now.
Today, we're going to unpack the 2026 union budget. But forget about some dry, boring government document. Instead, I want you to think of this as a practical guide. Yeah, a map for the average person just trying to navigate the year ahead. So let's dive right in. You know, this idea of a common man's map really hits the nail on the head. Because a budget isn't just a bunch of numbers and policies, right? It's a blueprint that directly affects our wallets, our daily commutes, and even our future. So this map is exactly what's going to guide us through this whole explainer. So here's what our journey looks like. Think of it as the legend for our map. We're going to start with the big picture, then zoom right into what it means for your wallet. After that, we'll look at some huge new projects in Karnataka, check in on our farmers, see what's up for students and new businesses, and finally, we'll look at the road ahead. Okay, first things first. Before we can really understand our local map here in Karnataka, we've got to get a sense of the bigger national landscape it fits into. So the entire union budget for 2026 is built around this one really ambitious number, a 7.5% economic growth target for the whole country. Now that's a powerful figure. It signals a major push for development and economic activity everywhere. And this is where it all becomes very real for us. I mean, for a state like Karnataka, the absolute IT and innovation hub of Asia, every single policy decision, every single rupee that gets allocated, it creates a ripple effect that we feel in our daily lives. We are right at the heart of this growth story. All right, let's zoom in on the section you've probably been waiting for. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. How this budget is going to directly impact your wallet. This is it. This is the question on the mind of every single salaried person, whether you're in Bengaluru, Mysuru, or anywhere in between. It's the bottom line, right? It's the number that decides what's actually left in your bank account each month. And here is a piece of potentially great news. There's a really strong proposal on the table to increase the standard deduction to a clean 1 lakh rupees. That's a pretty significant figure, and it's aimed squarely at giving the middle class some breathing room. Just look at that. This side-by-side really shows you what a jump we're talking about. This isn't just about making the paperwork simpler, it's a real tangible increase in how much of your hard-earned income is non-taxable. But, you know, this is about more than just a number. It's actually a pretty smart mechanism. Think of it as the government's way of helping us fight back against inflation. More take-home pay for you and me means more money being spent in our local shops and markets, which gives the whole economy a boost from the ground up. Okay, let's shift gears from our personal bank accounts to our shared public spaces. Now look, Karnataka often feels like it gets the short end of the stick when it comes to central funding, but the 2026 budget is actually showing some real promise for building a faster, more connected future for our state. Two major projects are getting a huge push. First up, the Bengaluru-Chennai high-speed rail. I mean, this could completely change travel between these two massive economic hubs. And second, a plan to develop Hampi into a global heritage hub, which would put one of our state's greatest treasures firmly on the world map. So why should the average person care about a giant project like developing Hampi? Well, it all comes down to something called the multiplier effect. See, when the government invests in something big like this, it's not just about construction jobs. It creates this whole cascade of opportunities for local taxi drivers, hotel owners, restaurant staff, tour guides, you name it. It lifts the entire local economy. Okay, let's move away from the hustle and bustle of the cities for a minute and head into the agricultural heartland of Karnataka. Because this budget has a really dedicated focus on the people who are, quite literally, the backbone of our state. We're talking about our farmers, the Annadatas, which means the givers of food. It's a term of incredible respect, and this budget really tries to provide them with the modern tools and support they desperately need to thrive. So, especially in places like Raichur or Belagavi, where the weather can be completely unpredictable, the budget is pushing for modern solutions. We're talking about promoting crops that can withstand crazy weather, setting up AI-driven digital ag centers for better forecasting, and even expanding successful state ideas like the Krishi Bhagya Pond projects. The whole point is to give farmers some stability even when nature isn't cooperating. All right, let's talk about the next generation. For the youth of Karnataka, the big focus in this budget isn't really about subsidies. It's all about creating opportunities, real, solid opportunities. And get this, a huge investment is being made right at the school level, with 50,000 new Adel tinkering labs, which are basically these cool workspaces where students can innovate and experiment with tech. The goal is to make our graduates truly job-ready for today's economy. And what if you want to be your own boss? Well, there's direct support for that too. New schemes are being rolled out that let small business owners in cities like Hubli and Bengaluru get those crucial startup loans without needing collateral. The idea is simple. Let the younger generation hit the ground running with their ideas. So, we've journeyed through our map. We've looked at our wallets, our roads, our farms, and our future. Now it's time to zoom back out and take a good look at the road ahead. So, what's the final verdict? Well, the 2026 budget is really a mix of big ambition and a dose of caution. On one hand, the focus on infrastructure and simpler taxes is a huge positive. But on the other hand, we have to be realistic about the challenges that are still out there, like stubbornly high fuel prices and all the economic uncertainty in the world right now. And this, right here, brings us to the most important point of all. A government can announce 1,000 different schemes, but they don't mean a thing if people don't know about them or can't figure out how to use them. For this budget to actually work, it all depends on us, on citizens being aware and getting involved. So we'll end with this thought. The map has been laid out for us. It shows paths for financial relief, for statewide development, and for future opportunities. The big question that's left for all of us is this: are we going to follow it? Will we do our part to make sure Karnataka gets its fair share of growth? Thank you for joining me.